Good evening, everybody. Calling the Conservation Committee to order. Let's start with roll call. Marianne Plunder here. Judy Murphy.
Here.
Megan Richards.
Here.
Nona Chiariello.
Here.
Teresa Coleman.
Here.
Sarah Gilbert.
Here.
Eliza Lowe is online. Chris Morris is out of town and cannot, he's on a plane. And Dieter Waltz is in progress somewhere. All right. Oral communications. Are there any items here that are not on the agenda that any committee members want to bring up? No. Let's see if there is anybody online. I see a hand. No. No. All right. And let's move on to the approval of the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read them? Any issues, any corrections?
Yeah, I want to bring up two things.
Okay.
If I can find it. The first one is,
Louder.
first one is under old business. Number, let's see. Old business number 5C. 4 and then number 4. It says Murphy questions the power of the committee to institute retroactive code changes. I think my intention was, that sounds like I wanted us to be able to do retroactive code changes and I didn't think we could. In fact, I think what I said that the committee does not intend to institute retroactive code changes.
Okay.
We've been careful about that
yes.
all along.
Okay.
And that was number 1. Number 2 is under the number 6. It's right before new business. Official Conservation Committee Charter. It said we adopted a version in September 2025. That's correct, but it was a time change. As you read this, it looks like we may have done a revision then.
I'm sorry, Judy, could you say that again? I missed.
It says the first little subset, TC adopted a version September 2025. That implies that we had a new version, All it was was a time change. So I would say we adopted a time change in 2025.
To be clear, it was the change of the meeting time.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, right. I don't have the power to say daylight savings time. And
so
then
those weren't discussed and they were on the minutes or on the agenda rather. Should I?
That's right. We didn't discuss this.
Oh,
I can just remove those bullet points.
Okay, yeah, maybe just remove those bullet points since we discussed. Okay, good.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you. That's it.
Noticed one thing where 6A it says D Gilbert and there is a D Gilbert in our neighborhood.
Is it we have a typo?
It says S.
Where is that?
Do you find it?
And for the record, Dieter Waltz is not here. All right. We are going to, I'm sorry. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion. Okay. Motion carries. Thank you. We're going to change the agenda because we have visitors in the audience. We are going to move the trees forward, and in particularly the 43 Hillbrook tree application or approval. And I would like to ask Jackie to the, yeah, and you need to speak very closely, otherwise the recording doesn't catch it. And she's a neighbor of 43 Hillbrook.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm Jackie Kubica, and this is my husband, Bruce. We live at 51 Hillbrook, uphill to Andreas Gall at number, I wrote 41, but I think it's 43. And his project is noted under item 8 on the agenda, tree permits. Here's a summation of my concern in 3 short minutes. Mr. Gall skirt trimmed 3 redwood trees of approximately 100 feet in height that sit on our property line. That is, he stripped the entire bottom of the trunks, somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of the height of the tree, and to my unlearned eye, reduced the live foliage on the tree by at least 1/2. Per PV guidelines, any trimming or other actions which could potentially injure a significant tree, such as substantially reducing the tree in size, would require a site development permit and follow the same process as described for the removal of a significant tree. He did not pull a permit for this. His communication to us regarding the remaining redwoods was as follows, and that is after he removed the one that he was permitted, was as follows. After that tree number 4 for which you issued a permit is down, they'll clean up the other 3 next to it and remove the dead branches. If only. A mere cleaning up is not at all what unfolded. Trees trimmed in this fashion can suffer. They can become top-heavy and unbalanced and are prone to a host of problems that I noted in an email to this committee last week. I sent off an email. We were appreciative of our 20-year neighbors, Jack and Mary Alice Byrne, their effort to trim these trees, and thank them no fewer than 3 times over the years. We prune our own redwoods that front the street. We sense that Mr. Gall's severe treatment, however, has left the trees less safe. If a 100-foot tree were to fall, it could demolish half of our home, which sits beneath the trees. I've met with Joaquin, who issues tree permits, and Jamie Bourne and her assistant Jacob Bard in the planning department. I've gone back and forth online with Thomas Milady several times, but I haven't gotten past property owners have the right to trim their trees, and Mr. Gall had a permit, to which I pointed out it was for tree removal rather than a radical, unnecessarily and potentially dangerous refashioning of significant trees. I'd like to know where the town stands on stripping the trees, as I've not seen in the past 25 years, and I feel it runs contrary to the ethos of the town. And I'd like to know what the Conservation Committee can do to help the situation, which might include the expertise of an arborist. Mr. Gall has one, or arborists, and perhaps my husband and I will need to consult with one. And then finally, if these trees are deemed less safe, I hope the town of Portola Valley will invoke Code 15.12.050, the hazards section, where a resident can be told to remove hazardous trees. We hope that he's asked to take them out. My husband's desk, where he works, is a mere 50 feet from the base of tree number 3, and we should not have to live in fear that a mistreated tree is going to fall on our home.
Okay, thank you. Could you clarify a few things for me? So I understand you're talking about the trees that are on the uphill side,
Yes.
where tree number 4 was removed.
Yes.
Did you say they were topped? I didn't fully understand.
No,
They were limbed up.
term I think that I've seen online is that they were skirted, quite the opposite, which is rather
Limbed
than
up.
that he went halfway up the one third to halfway up the top to, from the bottom of the tree
Yeah.
up,
Okay, we call this limbed up.
limbed
Okay,
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the one thing I have to tell you, we did not receive your email, which doesn't surprise me because it goes to the town.
Okay.
And so I need to talk to the town that we see your email.
Okay.
Did you take a few pictures?
I've taken pictures after the work was done. I took one picture of the midsection of the tree because there was one dead branch to point out a dead branch. My husband took perhaps a video when tree.
No, it's
not-
okay. It's
Oh.
okay. I was just curious.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
okay,
so we
okay.
probably have some pictures somewhere, and we
Okay.
certainly have after pictures.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Did you hear what she's talking about at 43 Hillbrooks? It's about the limbing up, which we actually recommend because of fire
Yes,
reasons.
yes.
Dita, do you want, but you have to come here to because she's worried that the tree will fall. So because they limbed up. Yeah, we need to see we need to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be more than a third of the tree.
Yeah, basically,
Dita, you have to talk.
basically with the coast redwoods, we have two positions. One is if it's just for fire safety, also they are not really one of the trees that are very fire prone, quite the contrary. But we recommend limbing up 12, 15 feet. We are strongly opposed to topping because usually the Sequoia sempervirens has a tendency to then bring new shoots up to form a new top. And it could be 2 or 3, which creates sometimes 80 or 100 feet up, what we call a bifurcated situation. And these tend to, in storms, come down. Now, as far as the trees themselves, if the tree is single only by itself, it would depend on the exposure to big windstorms. But normally, this species has evolved to be in groups, particularly the fairy ring is well known where when an old tree dies or otherwise.
What her case? Let's.
Anyway,
Specifically about a tree that has
I
been
did-
limbed
I
up
did,
more
we are
than,
very much for it.
Yeah, it's
but
the,
she's
it's,
saying they
it's
limbed
3
up
trees.
way too much.
To clarify, it's several trees, right?
It's 3 trees. And since you mentioned 12 to 15 feet, I'd say they were limbed up 35 to 40 feet.
What we'll do, we were not aware of this.
Okay,
So we would like to take this up with you and
Okay.
with the neighbor,
okay,
and we'll probably come out to a site
Okay.
visit. We actually have an arborist also on our, so
Okay.
we'll take this seriously, but we can't really resolve it here.
okay.
So if you leave me your phone number,
Mhm.
and you don't have to shout, and I will get in touch with you and we will look what's going on.
Okay.
We understand your concern
Yeah.
and we will look into it and help you.
Can I submit my remarks to the committee? So that I-
Certainly, yeah, thank you. And it will be in the minutes to Megan, our secretary. And just if you write down your phone number and then I will. And thank you for letting us know that this has happened. No. You have to talk in because we're being recorded. So thank you very much. And we will absolutely be in touch with you. Okay. We have another item that is outside the agenda. We have an emergency item that Judy brought up, and that is the.
I'll take it.
Okay, Judy, take it from here.
I've asked to have an emergency item put on the agenda. It's regarding the Priory's application for an event in October. And the justification for it being emergency is the application itself and the details of that application were only made public on Friday when the Planning Commission agenda was published, so we could actually see it. And so until then, we didn't really know. And when it was just at the sort of rumor concern stage, I felt like the Brown Act prohibited us from contacting people to see what they thought about it. And now the decision will be made tomorrow night at the Planning Commission, so there's no time for us to schedule it at a regular meeting. So that's the rationale for having it be an agenda item. And I don't know what the official thing is. Do we have to approve to do it as an emergency item? Yeah, so I would like to move that we add this emergency item to our agenda for tonight. I would like to move that and hear a second. Thank you. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what I know. It's a very long application. There are a number of things to be concerned about, the noise, the traffic, et cetera, but the one that's pertinent to Conservation Committee and that I care a lot about and think we need to do something about if to the extent that we can, is the plan is for a whole day event and an into the night event with several different football games happening. And what's happening at the night, there's a nighttime football game for which they propose bringing in a whole set of nighttime lights, like stadium lights that require big generators to light it. So the field would be brightly lit. They would be there till 9:30 at night, they say, down by 10, off at 9:30, gone sometime in the next day or so. At any rate, there's several issues about this. One is the town has a dark skies ordinance, and that's fundamental to the town. And one of the reasons that the town is as special as it is that we have this. That's been in the general plan since the general plan was first written and been there with every revision since. And it says specifically, night lighting visible from the exterior building should be strictly limited to that necessary for security, safety, We know that because we look at lighting all the time. All night lighting, including signs, should be low intensity and shielded from view from residential areas. It also caps any single light source at 1,125 lumens and bans flood type lighting outright, permanent or temporary. This is, I can't remember whether it's 4 or 6 huge stanchions of flood type lighting, each of which the lumens are higher than this limitation. So there's a violation of the general plan. There's a violation of ordinances that have to do with dark skies that appear in several places. And then there are violations of the CUP that's been agreed upon with the prior itself and revised several times. And the most recent revision was to allow this large athletic building that's being done here. And within that CUP, there'll be no night lighting on athletic fields. And all site lighting should be of an intensity that's compatible with surrounding residential uses. So they're not actually violating these ordinances. They're coming to the Planning Committee with an application to ignore all the CUP, the general plan, and the dark sky ordinances for the night of this event. There's been a certain amount of back and forth on the forum, if you see that. As with everything with the Priory, it gets simplified down to who likes the Priory and who doesn't, which is not the point. Not at all the point. I believe that, and I would like to urge that the Conservation Committee takes a stance. Oh, let me add that one of the things that then was also in the Planning Commission agenda is the staff report on it. And the staff report recommended is the word, the staff report recommended that they approve the event as written with a couple of exceptions. And one of them was that there be no nighttime lighting allowed. So one could say, well, it's done. The staff recommended that. But as with ASCC findings, the Planning Commission doesn't have to do and often tweaks what the staff recommends. So given that there will undoubtedly be lots and lots and lots of people showing up saying, this is the Priory, our beloved Priory. It's only one time. What's the big deal? Da, 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 da. I think it would be incumbent on us. And I think it's well within our purview because it's night skies to write a letter to the Planning Commission and say that the Conservation Committee, I had it all written out, worded, and I forgot, I forgot that page at home, but the Conservation Committee strongly urges the Planning Commission to include staff's recommendation that no nighttime lighting be allowed when they approve the project. So I'm period. I'm not saying we should say no to the project. Not saying we should complain about a whole bunch of other things that one could complain about. I think we should narrow our target where it's most important and most likely to succeed because they are asking for exceptions to all these things. I'm very worried about the precedent it's set. It's obviously not a legal precedent in the classic sense of the word, but if you say yes to the Priory, how can you say no to the tennis club or the winery or the next person who wants to have President Trump come to their property and have a huge nighttime fundraiser? So that worries me a lot, that it's a slippery slope kind of thing. And I also think that we've carefully negotiated through the years many times over the conditional use permit that the Priory has, and that they have some obligation to try and honor that without coming back and asking for an exception. It's an exception on in many ways. One of them is that, in the CUP, there's how many events of this kind and that kind and that kind they can have. And this is adding something. It's not just an extra football game, but it's a whole extravaganza extra. So thank you.
I have a question, Judy, because when you mentioned generator, the town also has a noise ordinance.
I know, that's what I said. There are lots of
Okay.
other things here, but I think if we aim our arrow at, and they say no nighttime lighting, then that it kind of takes care. There's no lighting, then they don't need the generators.
I see.
Because they
Okay.
won't have the
Because I
light.
know, a pool pump, for or an air
I know,
conditioner.
the whole thing, and these
Yeah.
are.
I know. We see them at Bianchini's and they are noisy.
Yeah, and it's more than what's at Bianchini's. It's
Much
to
more.
run those
Yeah.
those babies is a lot.
Okay.
I was told I shouldn't go near one with my pacemaker.
Oh, my, okay. Okay, well, let's open up to discussion.
So Judy, I understand where your heart is, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I have a hard time voting to say I support something that I haven't seen. This is the same thing that's come up multiple times in this committee. I can't vote for something that I've not read or at least had an opportunity to take a quick look at. So I'm in a little bit of a quandary over here. I understand the meeting is tomorrow and blah, 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 but I don't really know what the staff report says. And it makes it challenging for me.
So I agree with you. I'm very loath to do things I haven't carefully. I've been watching it, the ins and outs of it carefully for a couple of weeks and only had the exact wording. It only became public on Friday. So, but I can pull up for you the pertinent thing in the staff report, if that would make it easier, but it may not, because the little piece that's about night lighting, I mean, it's a huge staff report. And I'm just concerned about this one part of it. So if that would be helpful, I could do that. And if it wouldn't make much difference, because it's just a little piece of the pie, then I won't bother.
And if it's helpful, the recommendation that I've recorded is that the Conservation Committee prepare a letter to the Planning Commission strongly urging the Planning Commission to include the staff's recommendation that no nighttime lighting be allowed when approving this event. So I just, so we know what the language is.
Anybody else? Oh, okay.
The PV Palooza, which happens right here, it's scheduled to go till 10 o'clock at night. Do you know what they've done in the past in terms of lighting on the field here? How they've handled that?
I never stayed that late, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've never stayed that late either, so I don't know what I know they don't have huge floodlights, but they must have some lighting, I would think, for the stage and the.
I don't know. I expect that may come up at the planning commission meeting.
That's
And
a
someone will
that's a
have an
good-
answer. It's a very good question.
Who is
I
run-
thought of it
who runs
before.
that? Who runs the PV Palooza?
John Badger.
Badger.
Do you know him? You could ask him.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be part of cultural arts, but then they split off to be their own 501c3 because it's so expensive that the town couldn't possibly handle 60 grand or whatever it was.
When it comes up at planning, it will answer the question there, I'm sure.
I doubt they have a generator with huge
Well, I mean,
lighting.
I know they have permission to have amplified sound, which isn't just, you can't just use amplified sound without, getting
It's-
permission and stuff.
Even the Thursday concerts are
Right.
so loud that I can't even talk to the person sitting
Right,
next to me because
right.
it's so ear shattering.
Does the music also go into the night or it does all the way?
Till 10 at night.
Okay.
They're starting at whatever,
Okay,
the morning or the whole day. So.
okay. So it's more the light than the sound, the noise. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, first of all, what was that?
We are still at committee. I'll open it up in a minute.
I'd like to thank Judy for tracking this and for bringing it to our attention so that we can discuss it. I think it is totally relevant to this committee. And I too feel like it's hard to make a decision without reading all the fine print and everything, but I've followed it on the forum too. And my inclination is that it's just not necessary. And I'm all in favor of the Priory. I live close enough to be impacted by the noise and the traffic and everything, but that's different. And that's what they're allowed to do. And so I'm opposed to this, and I opposed to the nighttime lighting. I've thought about it from the standpoint of bird migration. I actually went through as much of the literature as I could, and that is the peak period of the fall migration. That said, one night of lighting is not considered a huge disruptor to fall migration. So I don't think that that's the main thing I'm concerned about. I'm more concerned that we're just a dark sky town.
Yeah.
And we should stay that way. And we love having the Priory, and we love the fact that they can be dark sky too. So that's my feeling.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Megan?
I'm wondering, is there language in the staff report that is necessary for us to make a recommendation? Could we make a kind of a freestanding recommendation that no night lighting be allowed and not refer to this report since we don't have that language?
While the rest of this is going on, I can find that language for you.
So
Unless maybe somebody at home's pulled it up and that's what they want to say.
I don't know. It doesn't really.
But we won't
We
vote
won't
till
vote,
after we hear
no.
from them. So if one of them has it-
I would also like to speak. And that's why I'm holding. So I am very much in the fold of Nona. I do not think we should. We have laws, or we have ordinances, and they are there for a reason. And if we start saying on Monday, this organization doesn't need to follow the ordinance, and it doesn't make any sense. We have ordinances. What I am wondering, the staff report is an integral part because it's in the agenda. I'm not so sure if we actually have to ask that they look at the staff report. They have to ask, they have to look at the staff report.
I'm not asking them to look at it. I'm proposing that we ask them to pay care, to vote in accordance with the staff report,
Okay,
right? Isn't that what the wording says? Not just
Okay.
implies, but says.
the
Of
other.
course, I wouldn't
okay.
say, read the staff report.
Okay, the other thing, and I have seen this, at town council meetings, I think we should consider that somebody, a designated person of the Conservation Committee speaks at the meeting. I think it would be much more effective than a letter. And we can, offline discuss if you want to be or if it wants to be, whoever, or both. Yeah. And with that, I'll open it up, Christy. Oh, hold on.
No, I actually, I agree with most everybody here, basically, that it seems like we should, this very relevant to our committee, and we should be protecting the dark sky.
Yeah. Okay. Christy?
Yes, I also agree with the past 3 or 4 speakers on protecting our dark sky. In fact, didn't the mountain lion get killed close to the prairie? So
No, nowhere near the priory.
nowhere near. Okay, I knew it was by Windy Hill entrance. Anyway, I want to also say that, Alpine Swim and Tennis has 16 courts, and we know what's coming next for tournaments or whatever they're going to propose. So it's a slippery slope, and I'd like us to stick with our ordinances and respect nature in this community, and that's why we moved here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't have another hand. Oh, Dave, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did, but the discussion kind of got away from everything before public comment. But in any case, the PV Palooza lighting is totally different. There's stage lighting aimed at the musicians and a little bit of what I'd call safety lighting at the crowd. It is not trying to light a 120-yard long, given the end zones, football field so that high schoolers can see each other the whole way.
Excuse me.
So it's very different. So I wouldn't make that comparison. So that was one thing why I don't.
Somebody on Zoom is not, it's Christy? Okay.
Sorry.
Christy, can you mute yourself? Okay. Keep on going, David. Oh, he's done.
I think that was the major thing. I do agree it's weird. I spent a lot of time in South Texas driving by Friday Night Lights stadiums, and they are not dark skies. But the Priory is great. So I don't know. I'm not sure why they need to really do this. I spent a lot of time as a bird photographer. I don't think it's going to kill any more birds than anything else. But it does seem like it's a weird precedent. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tricky, but do they really need a nighttime football game to make the celebration work? Or that'd be my question. So thanks. That's all for me.
Okay. Thank you.
So I have here the staff report. The recommendation from the staff. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution approving the occasional event permit in accordance with paragraph 19 of the conditions of approval of the existing CUP, subject to the conditions below. The very first one is per section 18 of the Portola Valley Municipal Code. No lighting shall be used for the night use of uncovered game courts, including tennis, paddle tennis, baseball, riding, and similar outdoor recreational facilities. The next section says per section 18, no lighting shall be used where any permanent or temporary lighting in which any single light source exceeds 1,125 lumens. And the rest is talking about requiring that they work with the sheriff and the fire department to have traffic measures and safety measures and parking plan, et cetera. So that's what the staff is asking of the event, basically saying, they're saying to the planning commission, approve this, but no lighting for two different reasons. And then, parking, So I hope that answers your questions about exactly what the staff is saying.
Wouldn't it be stronger if we take your suggestion, but also put down our conservation concerns? No?
So this meeting is tomorrow? We're too late.
Well, and
Not
but
necessarily.
My point was there are many concerns, but I don't want to dilute out from this one, because if they go sideways and get all concerned about, exactly how much noise there is,
Okay.
then we lose our focus on this. Other people are going to talk about noise, I'm sure. Other people are going to talk about traffic, I'm sure. And I don't know how many people will talk about the lighting. Some will, but I don't know anyone who has more standing to talk about the lighting than we do. So
yeah.
I think we should, as I said, I think we should write a letter, and I can, write it up and it would say exactly what she said, so that
Yeah.
nobody's voted for something they don't want to vote, and send it off to the planning commissioners. And I'd be happy to go tomorrow night and say, I'm here, both for myself and for the Conservation Committee, and the Conservation Committee voted. Either I can say voted unanimously, or I can just say approved.
Okay, I think that makes perfect sense. This is pretty straightforward. I don't have a problem deciding on this, Nona.
I move that we authorize Judy and one other committee member to write a letter and present it to the planning commission tomorrow night.
Okay, can I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and maybe, Judy, we should also have the chair, with the chair. If it's two of us, let's do the chair and vice chair. Yeah, and then you were speaking. Okay, all right. So motion carries. We will take it offline from here. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you,
All of you.
Judy. All right. Moving rapidly along. The rest actually is not going to take that long. So, committee business. Corey Ann submitted her application. Because of the town council agenda, she will not be approved until the 26th, but she is here and we welcome her unofficially, and we might even give her some work already. And then officially it will happen at the next town council. And we thank Corey Ann that she is willing to take this on. Then I have very good news regarding remote participation and being able to vote. So all we have to do as a Brown Act committee if we have a member that comes in on Zoom remotely to our meeting, the address of that person needs to be listed in the agenda. That's go to a school, go to a schoolhouse. This is not that difficult. If you're traveling, you don't want to say in which hotel you are, just go to a public library if you want to. Okay, but I think it's better than what we knew before. So we just know that it is now absolutely legit. If a member wants to be a voting member from remote, all that person has to do is give the address where they are located at the time of the Zoom. Not where they live or where their vacation home is, but where they are at the time of the Zoom.
So that's the same requirement there always has been, but there was an additional requirement that it be accessible. And
There's no other requirement. That's it.
I thought I saw that email thread that went back and
It's
forth.
different.
Okay.
That was for non the email that went was not uh, yeah, yeah. Okay. So I just wanted you to know.
So I had the impression that you had to welcome other people in there
No,
if they wanted.
all you
to.
have to do is put the address on the agenda. That's all you have to do. I checked with the town. That's all we have to do.
And you don't have to let
Nope.
people in.
Nope. All you have to do is put it on the agenda.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Then I'm not going, oh yeah, let me say this. So I send out the subcommittee spreadsheet because we have a lot of, you saw it. It's in, was an appendix.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not planning to go through with it, but I am asking the committee if anybody has any questions about that document or needs some clarification. Okay, Sarah.
I thought I was on the Ford Field committee.
Well, we'll put you on right away.
Okay.
Fort Field. Where is that? Okay. So we will add Sarah. All right.
And another thing that struck me is there's this Hawthorne MROSD in that same town-owned open space oversight category. That doesn't seem like it belongs there.
Springdown Town Center.
It's the second to the bottom, just above Shady Trail.
I agree. It's not one of our, it's not one
So
of
it
the.
Do I
should
have a
be-
different version? I don't have a one.
You don't. This is, yeah, this is the version that was the appendix.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I must have an older version. I will take that out then.
It
Thank
just
you.
needs to
It could be
move.
moved to some kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I also had a question, on Frog Pond, there is no chair designated, but I thought, Sarah, you were the chair. The Frog Pond, I was thinking maybe I ended up being chair.
Okay, I will put it in. I
was-
just didn't want, yeah, I was expecting that you would be the chair, but I didn't want to put it in without asking Sarah. Yeah.
Thought we had kind of decided that
Okay.
last time.
All right. Thank you for clarifying. Any other discrepancies you found? Or questions?
Just curious why Trails is on Triangle Park on that liaison committee. Just curious.
I'm sorry, what-
What are you confirming? What,
On the right-hand column, you have OSC/Trails. 3 times.
Oh, I see it over there, the right.
The right-hand column. I don't know what that,
I guess if it started out because of Nielsen OSC at the top, because he sometimes came to meetings. It's not like the liaison like you are. Judy, this is your brainchild.
I think it means that sometimes a subcommittee involves or asks someone who's not an official member of the
Conservation Committee.
committee or the subcommittee to sort of advise or tell us what they remember about something. Gary Nielsen has done that in several cases. For example, with Spring. So I think OSC, I think means Open Space Committee.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything
I'm
about,
asking what Trails is doing there. They have nothing to do with Triangle Park.
It's under Shady Trail.
It's not.
it's under.
Oh,
Triangle
It's
okay,
there
we'll take it
3
out.
times in a row.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, you're right. So we'll take that out.
So I think that I'm listed as chair of the Springdown, but I thought that I resigned from that in the last meeting or two and that someone else was going to do that. Am I
Yeah,
understanding that I'm? There anybody
yeah,
else?
I said I would do that unless Nona would do it. Nona, did you want to do it or did I say I do it?
No.
Okay, I'll do it then. Okay,
Okay, so I'll stay on it,
you stay on it.
but
Yeah,
I don't.
okay.
Oh, and then I'm a member of the Town Center Subcommittee.
Megan, are you okay to be the chair still of the town center? You're okay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If everyone's okay with our level of activity.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
And I think I'm also on broom pool.
Broom pool is Teresa.
Well, it was
It's,
this
I'm
year,
not the,
but I
I'm
didn't
not the
know I
chair. I'm
volunteered
just on the
forever.
subcommittee.
Murphy, okay. Teresa, you don't want to be the chair?
Well, I think we need to step back and understand what we're doing with Broompool and why we're doing it.
Can you be for the time being and maybe give us guidance?
All right.
That would be very helpful. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you. I knew there would be questions. So let's go to old business. I just quickly, both the tip of the month and the what's blooming now, I mean, they're just exceptionally beautiful. And I really would thank both Megan and Nona for the wonderful oeuvres. I don't know how you can improve it, but every month it looks better and better. So thank you very much. Megan, do you have an idea what you want to do for next month?
Yes, for the next couple months, I've got something about life after blooms. So encouraging people to leave their spent flowers. And if anyone has examples of wildlife using eating seeds in their yard, I would love
That's a great idea.
examples. The only one I really have so far is the titmice love my hummingbird sage. I look forward to it every year. And then the following month, I will do a tip on pruning.
What do you do?
On pruning of trees.
Okay. I have a video of the birds eating the toyon berries. But I don't think we can include a video, but it's really amazing. Okay, and Nona, what's blooming? Do you have an idea yet?
Yeah, actually, kind of ties in because I was going to do what's fruiting now. And so
Ah,
I have I took some photos of rose hips and ribes and elderberries and a bunch, and dogwood. A lot of things are.
oh, that's a
fruiting.
great idea.
And they're
Okay.
as beautiful as the flowers.
Yeah.
So I thought
Okay.
I'd do that.
Good. And then I wanted to mention, Detrichia is high on my agenda. We have your document. If it's okay with everybody, I'll put a little Detrichia out, do it now. But it's not the tip of the month and it's not, it's just the Detrichia. It's a reminder. Okay. Let's move on. We have this subcommittee, as you know, where we are working on the code and where we're still waiting for the meeting to happen with Sarah and Darcy. And Darcy is very helpful in getting this scheduled. And what has come up in the last few weeks or in the last, is the objective design standards. More and more we hear ASCC, at SB9, we can't do site visits. It's not allowed. We need objective design standards. And the mayor spoke with the ASCC and it's a high priority for them. And I think we should drive the objective design standards for the landscape, for what we usually do at our site visits. And so what I'm recommending that we roll this now into the objective design standard subcommittee just to keep the focus. And I will have a question for Rebecca in a minute, because one of the things Darcy recommended, she's very much on board with this, but she needs guidance from the town council and from the mayor. So we really need a word from the town council and the mayor saying, yes, Conservation Committee, do that. And we would like to do it in conjunction with the ASCC, particularly with Carter War, who knows all that. And then we would just get going on this.
So it really, when you ask for town council approval, it really comes down to budget, and the budget is dependent on, defined by how much staff time you need.
None.
So in general, I'm not even sure that you need town council approval for you to do something that's not going to require staff time.
Maybe it was meant that we have clearly the support to do that.
But then that would involve just a meeting with Sarah is staff time, right? Or a meeting with the COE is staff time. So that's why she's probably asking for approval from. town
Well,
council.
Do you think we can informally create a joint subcommittee with ASCC? And since they have been tasked with this.
Have they?
Yes, they
my-
have,
My understanding is they have been tasked with this.
By who?
by the
by-
mayor,
Craig Taylor?
Craig Taylor.
Well, he certainly didn't come to the town council about that.
I
but
don't
He
know
mentioned
anything
it,
That many times in town
Yeah.
council, but,
he mentioned it in the meeting in the chair meeting.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. go
He
to
was
that.
very, very clear about it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a high priority for
So
him.
given that there's that directive to them, I would propose that we go to them and say, we know you have this directive. The landscaping part of it's very important and we can help you with the landscaping part. Can we do something? So
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
that
think we
seems-
need a mandate to
Yeah,
do.
we can do that, Judy. We can do that anytime.
So
Yeah,
let's
okay.
just handle
Okay.
it
Yeah, but I'll
informally.
get further information from Darcy when she comes back from her vacation and see exactly what was discussed and decided at that point, because I know I've been bringing it up for a year at the town council level, publicly at every meeting,
Right.
how important it is. And I know in general, there is within our budget sort of a broad general need to work on that. It's not, there hasn't been money set aside for a consultant yet or whatever like that. And we wouldn't be able to hire somebody until
It would be better.
in the fall, in the spring, but
Yeah.
it would be best if the two committees
Yes.
really came up with some ideas
Right.
first.
Could get some homework done
Yeah.
and make it easier and less expensive for the next step to
Exactly,
happen. That's the whole
exactly.
point.
So, but I'll put on my list to talk to.
Okay,
Darcy when she
perfect.
comes back,
Okay.
Just to find out, what exactly was approved or discussed.
Yeah.
And the scope,
Okay,
but I don't foresee any issue just in general. Conservation
Okay.
Committee work
right.
part of it and,
Yeah.
the ADU part of it or whatever, just what happens around ADU. That 4-foot issue and, the relationship with
Yeah. And the screening, at the moment,
screening problem with.
Yeah.
this-
yeah,
That's a big issue.
yeah. Okay. Okay. And Judy is going to, head that up. And so it's, Judy, Chris, Nona, and I. It's the same as it was before. All right. The Redwood guidelines, I think Nona was going to take that on.
Yeah, so you have in the agenda packet the summary of our meeting. Chris agreed to be the chair and he's really gotten engaged on it. So the only thing I want to add to what's already in the agenda packet is a little bit of background on why we're doing this. And the reason is to provide better guidance if we can on where redwoods can grow safely and successfully. The tree removal permit committee often gets requests to remove redwoods. Occasionally we get requests to plant redwoods, example on Hillbrook, not the one that came up today, but a previous one. And so what we would like to do is to take the guidelines that were revised in 2021, but not adopted, and sort of hone those a little bit more. And Sarah has taken on that part of the job. And then Chris and I are working on a map that we hope will be useful. And the map is intended to say, not, oh, plant a redwood here or take down a redwood there, but where is there a higher probability that redwoods can do well? And that means looking at official maps of where they're already growing in sufficient numbers, looking at where stream valleys have been mapped, giving them access to the water that they need, and where the town's geologic map shows alluvium, which is another indicator that there may be moisture resources available. So it's not that this is a formula for plant it here, don't plant it there, but just to sort of give people some grounding on, that's a terrible place to plant a redwood if it's at the top of a hill and a really dry exposure. Anyway, so that's what we're doing, and we're making pretty good progress, I think.
Okay, thank you. And then moving to the next point, the Community Engagement Subcommittee, and Judy is filling in for Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to give this report because Chris is not here. And Nona's going to help me out by screen sharing the relevant pieces to make it easier. There was an Appendix B so that you would have seen, but there is no Appendix B in my agenda packet, and I looked online and couldn't find it. So let me give you a little background. This started as we've talked in here about community engagement, and the questions we started with: are we having any impact? What's happening? What do we put out, et cetera? And it pretty quickly came up that we didn't know what our impact was. And as importantly, there are many times we were reinventing the wheel. You know, what do we do this month when it had been done? We've been doing it for 10 years. Could we develop a repository we could look back and see and maybe choose a juicy bit this month so that the workload on people on the committee would go down because of what we had, and that for our own reasons, as we consider things, it would be very nice to be able to look back and see report on that in 2017. What did our report say? Oh, I think I remember. So there's both that and the fact that as we move on, as people retire from the committee that have done things and they leave, the institutional memory of the committee gets lost. And to try to dig back through old agendas, I mean, I had a box full of old agendas, but to go back and find them or to try it on the website where they have some of the minutes and some of them they don't. So Chris, being the tech whiz that he is, was able to go back through all the public records and between him pulling up every agenda that was there, and then some private records that, I had kept from when I was chair. I'd kept every site report and every, approved agenda and that kind of stuff. So he took all that stuff, all that stuff, and collated it and put it into some categories that we can use. So there are a couple of things. He created a website that I'll show you. Nona will show you. There's nothing. It's called Conservation Committee reference, basically, reference. There's nothing on this site that is secret. There is nothing on this site that is not already part of the public record. There is, the only thing that's newish is because, as we talked about institutional memory and stuff, there's a section that you can see in green on the far right there where it says new member onboarding. And it's a walkthrough of what we do, how we've done it in the past, where to look for this, where to look for that, where jobs are. Not in this moment. We can go through the others first, I think. So I thought I'd just give you a quickie walkthrough of this. It's designed for internal use by the committee. It's not a public document, even though everything in it has been public. So because it's a referral dashboard and is literally just informational, it does not run afoul of any of the Brown Act concerns. That was one of our concerns as we put this together, and we worried about how can we have this, how can we use this, what can't we do? There's nowhere on this site for feedback. There's nowhere on this site for discussion. So it's informational only, and it's already been public. So it should not be any kind of an issue with the Brown Act at all. We've been very careful about that. It's password protected, and everyone on the committee will be given the password that I'm not going to give you now because I don't want it in the minutes. Because, so let's just start and do a quickie walkthrough. He's organized it by, you can see in the top, actually you can see across the top line there. So you can get at it that way if you know what you want. Permits, quick links, the library, etc. You can read. roster, and then the new member thing. And if we scrim down, there's a way to short track. He's got all the links to many of the things we've created: Redwood guidelines, weed calendar, the QR codes, etc. So it's all the stuff we've done that you can find relatively easily. And then as things come along and we do it, it will be, he's got it set up, wizard that he is, that it will automatically update from our agendas and minutes. So there's no one whose job it is to do that, and then it becomes very quickly outdated. It's got all the permits and the tree reviews in a part, and maybe, let's see, maybe under quick links, why don't you open that one, Nona, just so you guys can see what's in under these things. Use documents, and then some QR codes that we won't use, but if we want to distribute them somewhere, post them somewhere, etc., it's already done here for you so that you can do, you can just copy it and put it in the thing you're wanting to do. The site visits and the tree visits are there. The other one that might be interested to open is the reference library, which is the third across there.
Are you opening it? I did. Oh, sorry.
It just takes a while. So you can see there what, it's all kinds of information referring to the committee and the documents we created. And can you scroll down? There's probably it's subdivided into categories, so it's easier to find what you want. And go back, Nona, and show the next page of
Oops. What happened?
She'll find it.
So Judy, I just wanted to say that
Yes.
this is still in draft form. And so just so everyone is clear, this is not being rolled out as a done deal. We're still working on it.
It's in draft form, and
But
it
it's
will,
just to update the committee and let you know
to let
kind
you
of where
know.
we're going. Just wanted to make sure that was
Right.
clear.
On the other hand, of the various things we're working on, this is the piece that we think is ready to go. Because of the things that are not at all iffy. We don't have to worry about the Brown Act. It's just informational. It's just all those things. So and importantly, it seemed like it would be important to take this little piece that's simple, straightforward, not controversial, et cetera, move forward, because we're getting new member. We've had, some relatively new members. So there's a very detailed section on onboarding that will really help us as we get new members. And instead of, your experience and mine was you come on as a new member and you whack around for a long time before you figure out exactly what's being done and how it's being done and all of that. Yeah. So that's basically it. So just go down to the next page of this. That happens. Gremlins.
I mean, generally, this is something, once everybody has the password, you just go there and look for yourself. Yeah. I mean, we don't have to have a full tour right now of this thing, because at the end of the day, we're going to look.
We just need an introduction so that people understand it so they can use it. I mean, it exists. So I just want you to sort of know what's there so you can do this. And there it is. Actually, it's up just a little bit. That's the very end. There's one between. There, yeah. So you can see these things are there. And I'm sorry, this was supposed to be given to you as an appendix, so that slows us down a little bit.
I never saw this.
But, well, whatever report Chris sent you that says where it says Appendix B, I don't know what.
It was a tiny little report.
I think I'm trying to say what he said there, and I don't know what that was. At any rate, this is what it is. It's there for you to use. It's there for you to look at. It's there for you to commit. So between now and the next meeting, I don't think we need to vote
No.
on putting it up. It's
No.
just there. It's a private thing, basically. And between now and the next meeting, try to work, not see every piece of it, but work your way through it, fiddle around with it a little bit. So you see if it does what you would like it to do. What else would you like it to do? Would you like it to do it differently? That kind of stuff.
So Judy, who is going to send everybody the password? Because without the password,
I'll-
nobody can look at it.
Obviously,
Okay.
I'll give it to you. I'll just give it to you. We'll give it to subcommittees and
Yeah.
if they meet I'll get it to you.
Okay.
This is great. This is great. Okay.
And that's it.
All right.
Questions?
Thank you. I mean, thank you to Chris
Oh, I
and the
mean,
subcommittee.
It's
Yeah.
astonishing.
This is
the
fantastic. Yeah.
Question that I have.
It
and
will
I
save-
don't know the answer to, and maybe those of you who have been on the subcommittee can answer is, it's not exactly clear to me how this is different from the Google Drive that's being put up.
I don't know either.
I think it kind of more from that to this being a higher powered version it'll do things that the Google Drive won't do. That's
Chris
my-
can explain this next
Yeah.
month. Yeah. Okay.
Might be more user friendly.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll give you a quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody has a hand up. Who is this? Oh, Dave.
Oh, sure. On behalf of Chris, Google Drive is like your file system on your Mac or your Windows PC or whatever. It's a big hunk of random data, and you can try and search it or not search it or whatever. But Chris has built a nice system using a lot of AI to categorize all the data, organize it, and put it into a really nice website. So the data itself might still be in Google Drive or wherever it's stored, but the treat of the system is that you can actually do stuff with it and learn stuff with it and educate yourself from it rather than doing a lot of deep text searches, hoping you get the right term. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the short story.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it
I-
evolved. I think it evolved from our attempt to do it on Google Drive, but
Yeah.
didn't do the sophisticated thing we
Yeah.
wanted to. Okay.
I mean, I know it will help. It will save me a lot of time, a huge amount of time. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll move on. I'll quickly tell you, you're probably surprised that the Nature app subcommittee has showed up here. Chris has actually put together a wonderful application, and he will show it to you next month. It's quite impressive. All right. Then let's move on. Committee liaison reports. You could read the wildfire from Chris that was attached. Open space. Any
No, we haven't met.
trails, Teresa?
Meeting was canceled.
Okay. ASCC hasn't met. Nothing. And that brings us to new business, to Nona, who wanted to give us a report on a new beetle threat.
Okay, so this may share in a minute. Basically, I was reading Science Magazine the other day and came across this article, and it presents a new problem that's not really that new, but let me change my viewing a little bit. I can. If that will work. Okay. So the image that you see there is the Polyphacus shot hole borer. Whoops. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, okay. And that's what it looks like. It looks huge and menacing. It's actually the size of a sesame seed. It is from China and Vietnam, primarily, and Taiwan, but it is spreading worldwide. The article that you see sort of clipped here on the left is from a recent Science magazine. It has over 600 host plants worldwide. And the picture on the right is from a different publication, but shows an example of what an infestation looks like in a coast live oak in Southern California. So the way this organism works is that it's an ambrosia beetle, which means that It feeds on a fungus that it has a specialized relationship with, and its larvae feed on the same fungus. And so when a female goes to a tree and drills a little tiny hole in it that's the size of a chia seed and deposits eggs, it also brings along in its pockets some of that fungus and plants the fungus in the tree. The fungus grows, the eggs hatch, the larvae eat the same fungus that the adults ate. They tunnel through the wood and the fungus grows there, and that blocks the plumbing in the tree, basically. And so it kills the trees. Not all trees are killed, and there are some that are more susceptible than others, but it's becoming a real problem. As I said, it's from China and Vietnam and Taiwan originally. This is a map from another publication, but another recent one. It's another 2026 publication. The green dots are where it's native. The red dots are where it has spread to. And the tan dots, or sort of mustard colored dots, are where it has spread to but has been eradicated. So it is possible to deal with it, although really, really hard. So the US was actually the first place that it was recorded to have spread to, and that was in Southern California. It has since spread to San Jose, and Megan is well aware of it. She says it's not present in San Mateo County yet, but it's in Santa Clara County. So it is highly likely to make it here. So the hosts that have been recorded in Southern California are shown on the next slide. So they've tested hundreds of species, right? And I just selected the ones that we have here that are natives. And so these are the ones that are susceptible to the fungus that it brings with it, which is the Fusarium fungus. Primarily riparian trees, but other native oaks and other species. Some that are attacked are not susceptible to the Fusarium, but the others are. And some of them are known to be reproductive hosts for the borer. The quote at the bottom is just from this recent paper saying that, there are a lot of native plants and native habitats in California that will be potentially at risk. So I urge everyone to kind of keep your eyes out for chia-sized holes in the barks of trees. But that first image that I showed shows us sort of staining around the hole, and that's probably going to be the thing that's most visible. Sometimes it forms a powdery sort of look or a gummy up look. I don't know, Megan, probably, have you seen it actually?
I have not seen it in the field. The holes are really tiny there, but there are some distinguishing characteristics, and things like the gumming and staining can vary by species and all kinds of factors. So those aren't necessarily signs that you have the shot hole borer. There are also other beetles that will cause those signs. So the University of California has some excellent resources to help identify what the holes look like and what to look for symptoms. You can send beetles in for testing. I have a sample I can bring into a meeting in the future. So you can see how tiny they are. But yeah, as far as I know, they have not been confirmed in San Mateo County. One was reported in San Mateo County, but I don't think that there's been any population found. And there also is another species that they found a year or two ago in Santa Cruz County. But they are primarily in riparian habitats, so especially where you find box elders, willows, those are candy for them.
And some oaks.
It's been eradicated in some places, so there's a treatment. You treat the fungus, probably not the beetle. Is that right?
There is no treatment. There are management options, and those are also listed on the UC has a decision matrix that you can
Because
follow.
on the map, then these areas where it was eradicated have.
Well, so for example, in Australia, I was reading that in Perth, they took out 5,000 trees at a cost of $40 million to try and stop the infestation. So it really spreads. I mean, obviously the biggest concern for many Californians is if it gets into things like agricultural crops like avocados or something like, or citrus, or, I mean, there are really a lot of concerns.
Do we know how quickly it works to kill the tree? Do we have any data how quickly a tree that has the beetles is then a dead tree?
I don't know.
No.
It depends on the severity, and some trees will kind of struggle and survive an infestation for a long time, die back, and then regrow. Box elder does that a lot. Willow can do that a lot, where the top dies back, but they regrow from the roots. And I will include on the meeting minutes the link to the
Great.
UCA and our website resources.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
don't want it to come into our big old oaks. I mean, that would be a disaster. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for bringing this. That's why we have the scientists and Megan on the committee, the arborist. Thank you. The tree, we're not going through the trees. We already did that with the guest. And with that, I would like to have a show of hand for the September 1 meeting. Do we have a quorum? Okay. And I just want to remind you of the picnic, but we'll do that offline. Remember, because the picnic is going to be soon, sort of. Okay.
For for the September meeting, I will most likely be missing. Is there someone who would be willing to cover the minutes?
Me again?
Sarah is a very good stand-in. Okay, with that, the meeting is adjourned, and thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thank you.